Talk Radio.
Join us for today's episode of the Utopian Realities Slope, Save Life on Planet Earth blog talk radio show, bringing you solution bearers with practical, proven, scientific ways to help you eliminate global level irradiation and extinction level threats from your body, and bringing forward the means to restore and sustain global waters, air, soil, and sentient life. Welcome. Greetings and welcome. This is Lisa Wolf of Slope, Save Life on Planet Earth. Welcome to the Utopian Realities Sunday show, where we speak with solution bearers with actual solutions to the ongoing Fukushima, North American, Northern Hemisphere, and global irradiation threat. Solutions we can use to gain protection from and rise above these specters as we together birth the utopian reality we and the Earth long for. Today's guest, Joshua Flint, will be sharing solutions you can bring to bear today to seemingly miraculously help eliminate radiation, environmental toxicity, and a myriad of diseases from your body. Joshua Flint of the Goodly Company and Humalife is a healer, alternative therapist, and health consultant with over 20 years of hands-on experience, who is led by friend and associate, the late Dr. George Merkel, discoverer of life crystals, to vital health and inner transformation with life crystals and fulvic and humic acids. Flint's desire to share this good fortune and vibrant health transformation birthed the Goodly Company, so you can have these same benefits in your life. Welcome, Joshua. Tell us about your journey to health and the miracle of life crystals and humic fulvic acids, and why you believe that the product you're offering will make such an impact on people's lives to remediate radiation, as well as deal with diabetes, AIDS, cancer, fibromyalgia, Alzheimer's, and a host of other plagues. Welcome, Joshua.
Thank you, Lisa. Well, it's a pretty complicated world we have today, or seemingly so, until we understand that we're being poisoned, and so the bottom line comes down in people's health to getting the poisons out of the body and getting nutrients in. And the other thing is understanding that there's very little nutrients left in our foods, and even those foods that we buy that are organic are still not grown really with high enough nutrients, I guess, so that we have so that our food becomes our medicine. And so the products that we have are, I guess, a Band-Aid until we get back to the food that is nutritious enough for us to heal ourselves, because like the humic and the fulvic acid that we have, that is what is missing from all of the chemical farming. And so really people are recovering from pretty well everything doing just the humic and the fulvic acid. And it's from the micronutrients that become available that we're not getting out of the food. And so the health comes down to diet, down to toxicity. I have one kind of theory here with it all, and it's get the lead out and get the nutrients in. And so the fulvic acid that we have, it takes heavy metals and any nuclear, and it will bioremediate it right inside the body. And
wow.
And the understanding that, first of all, that our bodies can actually do those things. You know, there's an old science out there that says you can't. There's nothing you can do once you get the nuclear in. You know, you're doomed, and that's just not not true, and we are all evidence of that right now. Because the amount of nuclear that we are receiving, that we're breathing in on a daily basis, across the United States, there was over 20 cities last week that were above 1,000 counts a minute. And they used to evacuate at 100 counts a minute. So having actually been through a nuclear exposure myself, I'm really amazed at how much everybody's able to take for the nuclear that we're all receiving from Fukushima. And so, like I say, we're all evidence that we can bioremediate the nuclear out of our bodies, and we're doing that just from our lives, how we're living. Some people that aren't getting it out as much, okay, they're having everything from heart attacks to cancers to thyroid problems, swollen thyroids. But go ahead.
So what is the protocol that, I know you remediated yourself, and so what protocol do you recommend for people then with what you're bringing forward?
Okay, well, the first thing is to get the toxins out, and like I say, the fulvic acid. Now, fulvic acid, most people don't even know what fulvic acid is, and that's Fulvic, not folic. But the fulvic is called the miracle molecule, and it will attract to itself 3 times its weight in heavy metals or radioisotopes, and it will alter the ionic form of the toxins so that your body can either safely detox them, or in some cases it will combine them with other nutrients and turn them into good guys and use them up. And so it's really it's really again, it's like alchemy, and in that statement there was a lot, because what alchemy is chemistry with God. And so, you're raising the frequencies. There's no, we obviously able to bioremediate that. If we couldn't bioremediate the nuclear, we would be dead. And so that's the fulvic is further helping, for those people who aren't able to maybe bioremediate it. Okay, so the fulvic would be number one to start getting the toxins out. Plus, the fulvic acid will carry up to 60 elements and minerals directly into the cell. And so when you get heavy metals in your body, they capture receptor sites in different parts of your body and short-circuit your body. And so this has an opportunity to go in and recover those receptor sites and bring you back to homeostasis. Now, there's lots of research that's out there now that says that the fulvic acid, without, if you even doing like ionic minerals and stuff, that the minerals, you can't even uptake them unless there's fulvic acid. So the fulvic acid is quite a medium in the healing of the nuclear and in the restoration of the cell. Now the humic, it's full of micronutrients. The fulvic is actually beyond nutrients. The people who say the fulvic, there's fulvic minerals and all of that, that's a misnomer. Fulvic is not it's in a realm all by itself. It's like quantum. Okay, in fact, anything you put into fulvic acid, a solution becomes the fulvic acid solution. And fulvic is very unusual in that it can give a molecule or take a molecule. So when you put anything in a fulvic acid solution, it takes it apart. And so now you combine that with the humic, which the humic is the micronutrients, and it will carry those micronutrients into the cell. Whatever the cell requires, it will carry in. And we've actually had, yes, and once the body has the right nutrients, there's a whole nother understanding in here that when people really get this, then they'll understand why like medical marijuana is working for so many people. Because our humic acid, we have actually had people p-test positive for humic acid. Taking our not for humic acid, but taking our humic acid, they p-tested positive for THC. And in several cases. And so what that is, okay, and the understanding of that is that we have THC and what are called cannabinoid receptor sites in our brain. And so we produce cannabinoids and we produce THC when we have the right nutrients. So the medical marijuana that people are taking and healing the cancers and whatever else with, okay, we can do that naturally when we have the right nutrients in our body. Okay.
Wow.
So
yes.
The outer establishment has tried to make it seem like we can't get by without some type of chemical drugs, and the latest research that I read is that 70% of Americans are on at least one prescription drug. You know, that's pretty sad, and you know, our whole thing is to take everybody away from all the chemicals. You don't need any of them, and that's a very strong statement. But when you come over into the understanding of the chemistry and the alchemy again, that chemistry is without God, okay, that everything that you are eating is like anything that they synthesize is a look-alike of nature. Well, that's a type of gray magic. And so all of the foods and the chemicals that they produce like that are having a very negative effect on everyone's beingness that they don't even realize. So as you start to detox, there's lots of emotions that can come up, because it starts to bring you back into integrity. You see, our whole body is in sacred geometry, or it is when we don't have chemicals in our body. And if you study the works of Master Emoto with the water crystals, the frozen water crystals, you can see that everything in Mother Nature is crystalline and it's in sacred geometry. And all the chemicals, when they photograph the chemicals, or they're in the water, or they're all like a blob. There's no sacred geometry at all. And so the more chemicals that we allow into our system, the more we warp ourselves out of sacred geometry. And when we get an organ that goes too far out of sacred geometry, then you get like a cancer or something. Okay? And so you can actually bring that back by correcting the cause on a quantum level, as long as the person changes their lifestyle. But the understanding of that for most people is critical. But there isn't too many people that really understand that hey, we produce our own THC when we have our own nutrients, and so when we go by a school zone that says drug-free zone, it means THC-starved brains. Chemical-based system.
Right.
Well, I shouldn't be so.
Well, Joshua, we're going to take just a moment to hear a word about a sponsor, and then we'll be right back to learn more about the amazing transformational and healing possibilities available from your work with Human Life and the Goodly Company. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
And now a word from a sponsor, New Portal, working with us to enhance life. Calling all world changers and visionaries. Attention, world changers and visionaries. Do you have a green or caring cause, project, or company that you want to take to your next level? Do you want increased production, increased income, funds, large or small funding programs? Then visit newportal.org. New Portal is more productive and profitable than combining Facebook, Salesforce, Kickstarter, e-commerce, email marketing, telemarketing, press releases, Google+, LinkedIn, Twitter. Visit newportal.org/bizcard/save life on planet Earth. New Portal, making a better future for us all.
So, Joshua, would you tell us a little bit about your own experience? I know you've been exposed prior to what we're all dealing with now to radiation, and also, if you wouldn't mind, you also work with the life crystals, which you incorporate with the humic and fulvic.
Yes. Well, I was exposed to some depleted uranium smoke in Pecos, New Mexico, just outside of Santa Fe. And the year before we were there, they had burnt Los Alamos Labs down, or a big portion of it, and released all this radiation onto like a surrounding area of 500 miles, I guess, pretty heavy. And we came there a year later, and there was a forest fire, and it re-released it was depleted uranium, is what had got released from Los Alamos, and so that's what we were breathing in, was depleted uranium smoke in this forest fire, and we didn't realize it. And I'd already been an alternative cancer consultant for like 10 years, and I was like 6 months later, I was on my deathbed. I was so skinny, I was like dying, and we couldn't figure out why. And then we finally found out we'd been nuked, and so a little research found out, it kills your GI tract. And so you start starving to death. And so that's why lots of the animals have, starving's disease. They're all these, we're having all these extinction level events, and they're saying, we just can't figure it out. We don't know what is causing all of this. Well, anyone with any half of a brain understands that that's all the nuclear. Okay, and that's what it does.
Right.
It starves you to death. Okay, and so. So I got microbes into me, and I started to bring myself back. But because I'd gone to such a point where my brain got starved, it took a long time to bring myself back. In fact, it was like until I created the Divine Vine, which is with the life crystals and the fulvic acid. It started to bring back my cognition, so that I can have interviews like this. Before I did that, I couldn't have had these interviews.
Right.
And
well,
so
that's the other aspect I want you to touch on is the higher consciousness activation. What's happening there?
Okay, well, the life crystals, are free energy in a bottle, and in order to do a crystal, it has to be very pure. Okay, so this is a very pure formula of very high energy, and that frequency, raises your frequency to such a point that you can connect with your higher self, or your oversoul, or your light body, and so I called it the Divine Vine, because when I mixed the fulvic with the life crystals and did the first dropper full, I felt my higher self drop in a big ring around me, like boom. And I guess that's also whole brain function, and so it's very high frequencies, and it's it does many healing things. Okay, it's actually formulated to take the fluoride out of your pineal gland and out of your thyroid, and it seems to be working. And so spiritually, the outer forces are aware that there is an energy coming to us right now to wake us up spiritually, to move us beyond a lot of this stuff where they've tried to entrap us. And so the releasing of, like, Fukushima and all this nuclear was done actually deliberately so that they could interfere with what's called the light body, because they knew that plutonium affects the light body. And so we are at the time in, like, the book of Revelations or in the Bible where it says, that there's an awakening happening, that your old men will have dreams, and your men and maidservants will give prophecy. And so it's speaking of a time of awakening. Well, that's upon us. But with all the nuclear and the chemtrails and the EM and everything else that they're doing, they're trying to keep people from connecting to that. And so, because I have a very good connection with that, or I've been able to regain it with the life crystals, that our products are focused around bringing people back to themselves. That's why I kind of call it the divine vine, because it brings you to your own divine, but you have to raise your frequencies enough to connect. And so where we're all going is we're all going to the light body, but the light body is, let's say, at like 220 volts, and we're operating down here at 110 volts. And so we have to raise our frequencies so that we can dome with our oversoul. And that's really what they're trying to interfere with. And so the life crystals in there, like I say, besides all the other health aspects that they do, because they like rebuild and regrow everything in the body, and combined with the fulvic acid, it's it really helps to restore everyone. And in the years that I went from the discovery of being nuked to finally getting my brain back, was when I put together the life crystals and fulvic acid, and then I came up with a saying that you don't know where you've been until you come back. Well, it's like a good feeling. People don't know good feelings aren't there until they come back. And so go ahead.
And you're also noticing relief with things like diabetes and AIDS and cancer and fibromyalgia and Alzheimer's and other plagues, I understand.
Yeah, well, those aren't actually diseases. Those are actually most of what you mentioned are all heavy metal poisonings. Okay, in fact, there's lots of people who say you can't even get diabetes without mercury. But my understanding is, and the reason we made the Divine Vine, first of all, it's specially formulated to take the fluoride out of the thyroid. The thyroid is your master hormone governor, okay, and the fluoride, bromine, and chlorine all have the same number of outer electrons as the iodine receptor site. If they capture that, they short-circuit the thyroid. The thyroid puts out a phony thyroxine that the body doesn't recognize, and then depending on your particular DNA and whatever chemical cocktail that you've allowed into your body, depends on whether it goes into diabetes, fibromyalgia, one of the alphabet soup diseases. Which aren't diseases. You can recover from all of it. I mean, really, when you understand, first of all, Alzheimer's is that mercury captures the GTP receptor site in the brain, the guanosine receptor site in the brain, which has to do with rebuilding of the brain. Okay, and so that's what Alzheimer's is. Okay, it's mercury poisoning in the brain. And they know that. That's why they've got mercury in all the flu shots for the old people. I mean, really, most of the old people got Alzheimer's. You can't remember their own name. And throughout history, we've all looked to the old people for the wisdom. Where's the wisdom? It went with the flu shot. It went with the flu shot. It went with the childhood vaccinations. You see, the whole, the whole health thing starts with the vaccinations. And from there, it's
Joshua,
just further. Yes, go ahead.
We have just a few minutes left, so
Okay.
while we're talking, would you tell people about the Goodly bullet-powered humic coffee? It's such an amazing thing, which I'm partaking of as we're speaking. Actually, if you just, it's a wonderful thing. If you talk a little bit about
the humic powder, okay, or you can take the humic concentrate and just put it right into your coffee, okay, and what it like makes the best tasting cup of coffee. If you put the powder on your grounds before you make the coffee, literally it makes the best tasting cup of coffee because you're adding nutrients, and the best tasting food is the most nutritious food. And so when you add nutrients like that, you're not only making it taste good, but you're getting the benefits of everything that humic acid does. And humic acid stops all viruses. It does something different than anything in Mother Nature. It puts a coating on viruses' receptor sites so they can't attach to the host cell. And so in there, I would say for people, that's the biggest miracle right there, the humic acid. And not everybody's got really good humic acid out there, but ours certainly is getting results. So yes, and then we take the coffee, and the what you're talking about is we add the humic to the coffee, and then we add coconut oil and butter from grass-fed butter, and we put that together in a drink and whiz that up, and that goes straight to the brain for anyone who has any kind of Alzheimer's or dysfunctional brain. The oils are also critical for the brain, and so that's the humic drink that we're doing for the brain.
Well, wonderful. Joshua, this is a very short talk that we're able to have, and we're going to have to close. Listeners, please, for more information, go to humalifeusa.com to learn more and use the promo code SLOPE, all lowercase, to receive a special 15% discount. And know you're helping save a life on planet Earth, your own. And then join us next Saturday, April 30th at 2 p.m., when we continue our conversation with Dennis Watts about practical, achievable plans for remediating Fukushima and the U.S. and world irradiation. And for more information, contact whitebuffalonation@gmail.com and visit wbnslope.weebly.com and our White Buffalo Nation Facebook page, and support the Slope mission and the solutions we're bringing forward at gofundme.com/slope. Together we can save life on planet Earth. That's yours, mine, all of ours. Thank you, Joshua.
You're welcome.
And I will invite you to come back so we can continue.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my
Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Joshua Flint, and thanks to Anton Miserak of ShastaSong.com for the music used. Have a beautiful day, and let's all slope together.